What is your dark secret that you will never tell your children? My daughter has no idea I was the reason her boyfriend broke up with her. My daughter, who was 19, moved out soon after her biological father's passing. It was a very difficult time for both of us, and it ruined the momentum that my daughter had in her life. But after a period of living alone, she moved back. It was during this time that she introduced me to Kevin. He and I had clicked right away. He lacked a father figure in his life, and I think he was eager to form that relationship with me from the start. I noticed that he was extremely paranoid and had severe trust issues. However, he wasn't toxic or manipulative, just constantly worried about where my daughter would go after work. When he would ask me, I would answer honestly. She was usually at her friend Maria's house, watching movies together. We both sincerely believed my daughter was at Maria's place. We had no reason to think she wasn't. One night, after my daughter came home to pick up her phone to hang out with Maria, Kevin asked me to buy him some medicine. Kevin lived nearby, and he was having panic attacks. I had grown accustomed to making late-night errands for him. My daughter typically finished work at 4 o'clock and was usually home or at Kevin's place by 5:36 at the latest. By 6 p.m., she was nowhere to be found. I decided to text her before I left the house to inform her of my errand. The message was something like, "Kevin is having panic attack, so I'm heading out to get supplies. Are you okay?" She responded while I was driving, and I checked the message when I got to the store. It read something like, "Yeah, I'm fine. Maria needed help building a shelf she bought, so I'm staying here." A little later, I sent a message back saying, "Okay. Be safe," along with other fatherly sentiments. I was taken aback when I saw Maria at the cash register, smiling at me as I walked in. I hadn't forgotten that she worked there, but I had assumed it was her day off. Despite my initial shock, I forced a smile in return, but a wave of nausea overcame me. I attempted to rationalize the situation. Perhaps my daughter was building the shelf for Maria while Maria was at work. My thoughts were in disarray. I gathered the medicine, some snacks, for Kevin, then proceeded to the register. Maria initiated some small talk with me. I don't remember the exact words due to my faulty memory, but it went something like this. "Hi, Mr. Mike. How are you doing?" "I'm all right. I'm just picking up some supplies for my daughter's boyfriend," I replied. I remember she laughed then and said, "Speaking of your daughter, I haven't seen her in a few weeks. I need her to return my phone she borrowed. Can you tell her that?" I felt sick again. I didn't want to draw attention to my daughter, so I decided not to mention the stories my daughter had been telling me. I just smiled and assured her I would let my daughter know. I paid for my items and left quickly. I drove to Kevin's house and gave him the supplies, but I was at a loss for words. He was carefree, laughing and smiling. He asked me about my daughter's whereabouts. I couldn't bring myself to lie to him. So I answered honestly, "I don't know. I didn't know where she was or who she was with." I suggested he call her and ask. He thanked me, and I left his house. Later that night,